All right.
Yeah.
Now you ready?
Now I'm ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 2 of the Suburban Sidekicks. We appreciate all the views from the first video. Thanks for smashing that subscribe button. We're hoping to get some more views and more subscriptions after this episode. We appreciate everything from everyone. Thank you. Let's jump into what we ended with last week, going over filming here on the Saturday after the Super Bowl. So discuss a little bit our projections, how they turned out. I know we both picked the Seahawks to win. I think my thoughts were a little better.
Yeah.
Since they did win by definitely more than 7.
Yeah.
The first half was pretty boring, but the second half was a lot better, and I think the Patriots were exposed for the weak schedule they had, and the Seahawks are definitely a legitimate team, and there's a good reason the Vikings general manager got fired.
That was the driest football game I've ever watched in my whole life. I've never been so disappointed in a football game.
There's been some bad Super Bowls, and that definitely wasn't one of the better ones.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was you specifically that said that the Patriots defense, that their entire season, that they've just had nothing but lightweights, which is why it was going to pan out that way again.
And I feel like that division has always been pretty for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, in comparison, yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, even the Brady years, I mean, I feel like he had at least a guaranteed 4 wins every season.
Oh, yeah, yeah. He was definitely the heart of the team at that point. But, I mean, for a 23-year-old quarterback to play the way he did, I know he was super crushed and disappointed, but, I mean, even a couple of the Seahawks players came over to him after the game and congratulated him anyway.
Well, I mean, that's quite the feat. I mean, getting to the Super Bowl, I mean,
he's the second youngest Super Bowl to play in the Super Bowl, but he'd be the first youngest quarterback to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and it's funny because listening to like some of the other like veterans on different teams, like I heard Dak Prescott say something about, because the Cowboys have had some pretty good teams, and we'll get there, and it's like all of a sudden you're 10 years in the league and you still haven't gotten there. And I mean, as a Packer fan, how many times have we been heartbroken in the NFC Championship? So getting to the Super Bowl is just an accomplishment by itself, no matter if you win or lose.
Definitely.
So the kid's got a bright future. I think the Patriots have a good outlook. I like Mike Vrabel as a coach. I really do. I think I really do like the player coaches. I think that's cool.
I think that makes a lot of sense. Personally.
Especially being a former Patriot. He's won it. So, I definitely think they got a good future in front of them. A lot of young players. I think that was the other thing they said, that they had 2 rookie offensive linemen. So that's, and I know that one kid, I think from LSU, I can't remember his name, but he was drafted high. He was in the first round for sure.
It seemed like everybody, I mean, even like the spread, basically the way everything panned out, I mean, it was pretty much expected, which was like, that part was mildly disappointing, but the play itself, like right towards the end there, I thought maybe in the last 4 minutes and 30 seconds of the fourth quarter, I thought there might have been a shot. Really, I did. It almost looked like there was a different team on the field when the Patriots started to pick it up, but
just a little too late.
There wasn't enough time in the game to do that. But I mean, it was a valiant effort. It looked good. Speaking of what looked good on the field, did you see the streakers on the field?
I saw the video. But
did you see the video of both of them? Or
I did not, just the one.
So the guy planned it out with another guy to use him as a decoy streaker, basically. So the decoy streaker jumped onto the field, and then the other guy, the main streaker, if you will, who had advertisements written on his front.
Oh, is that? Oh, okay.
Half a streaker, really. Not a full streaker. He had his top off, then he had his bottoms on. But he must have had either the meta glasses on, maybe, or like a camera, something hanging off his neck or something, because you literally could see a POV video of him jumping off the side onto the field. And then his decoy had jumped like maybe 5 seconds first, so the decoy got caught like he was supposed to. And he had the main guy had just slipped past security and made it out onto the field. And then I think number 10 from the Patriots, like, like juked him a little bit, you know,
I saw that
right at the end there.
Down.
And he was like, "Oh no!" And like you hear him say that on the video, and he was like, "I'm just kidding, I'm done."
Nothing like a good plan to do streaking, and definitely they thought it out, which was impressive, you know, especially at the Super Bowl. But it's, I mean, I don't know what he was advertising. Yeah. I mean, hopefully his bail was paid for.
I think it was, if I remember, it was just some sort of trading. So now either betting or trading. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what I saw and confirmed, because everybody was complaining that he bet on that. Like you can put there's two different apps. You can bet on anything. Yeah. You can bet on campaigns. You can bet on presidential elections. You can bet on literally anything. Whether the space shuttle is going to explode on the way up or not. And I think one of those types of websites he was advertising. Yeah. And he placed a bet. They allowed him to place a bet on that. But it's like it's rigged when you do that. You know what I mean? Because like you're placing the bet, and then
you have to have a friend place the bet.
Yeah. But they can
trace that.
Oh, dude, you know those two NBA players that got caught later. I can't think of their names right now, but they one of them let his brother win, I don't know, like $150,000. Yeah. And the brother was bragging, whatever, and this was 2016.
You just got to keep it hush hush.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's 10 years and they still caught you doing it, you know. So it was cool. It's funny. I think everything that went on with the Super Bowl was all right. And it was just really disappointing. I literally left it in halftime, and I showed back up with like 5 minutes left, and I was like, that was probably the best 5 minutes of the game.
They can't all be winners, you know. I mean, I feel like it was a different football season, to say the least. You know, the NFC. I mean, who would have picked the Seahawks at the beginning of the year?
Nobody.
No.
It's week to week.
Same with the Patriots. Who would have picked the Patriots? You know, with such a young team, new coach.
I feel like every time everybody didn't have a streak,
with the Seahawks. It's like everybody was new.
Yeah. Which that's why you wouldn't have expected the way it panned out. But I think it was really a week-to-week league, because like you had teams that would end up doing 3 games in a row, and then they'd lose 5 games in a row. It was just like there was no rhyme to the madness. You know?
No. It was I don't know. It wasn't one of my favorite football seasons, but that could have been also because the Packers just didn't. I mean, the injuries, when we picked up Micah Parsons, it was Super Bowl or bust. You know, that's I mean, the last time we made a move with that was Reggie White. Right. And I think it was 2 years after we picked him up, we won a Super Bowl, and then we went to another one and we lost.
Right.
So that might have been before your time.
I really wasn't that. I've watched football my entire life, but I really wasn't too deep into football or any sports.
96.
Yeah.
You would have been
95.
You were born in 95. Yeah. So you definitely went to.
Yeah, that's much pre my time, and I haven't been into football my entire life since I was born. I have been into football, but not like this. The last 5 years, I've been much more deep. In the last 3 years, I've been like totally immersed for football.
So you thinking for next year? I think the Packers have a better. I mean, if we can stay healthy.
I don't know. I mean, Jordan Love's just such a. I don't want to say he's an offbeat player, but he's just so. He's on it and off it, you know.
That's how I feel, but his stats show so much different.
It's always good, you'd think.
Yeah, and I talked to my friends about it because it's like the whole era of Aaron Rodgers, like the way he threw the ball, the way he did stuff was so different than what we see with Jordan Love. Like Jordan Love throwing a deep ball and just how the loft, it's like that was never, but he makes it happen.
I know. Well, I think that poses a lot on his receivers, because really it doesn't just take the quarterback to me. I think Rodgers made a lot of it happen for himself. I think Favre made a lot happen for himself. Even with a weak receiver, he could still put it somewhere that you could figure it out. But I think Love kind of leaves it less predictable, and I think the receivers feel that, and they make up the difference. Is what it seems like to me.
I feel like he can read really well.
Definitely.
And LaFleur, I mean, nothing. I know we're all, we got to get a Super Bowl. But he's not a bad coach. I mean, if the Packers would have fired him, he would have been picked up immediately. It would have been John Harbaugh, Matt LaFleur. Immediately.
With all the coaches firing going on this year, I was very surprised at a lot of the the news being like, oh, such and such team's coach got fired, and I'm like, they won how many games in a row? What? All right, that's fine, but that doesn't count for nothing. You know?
I'm interested to see what's his name from Miami. He's an offensive coordinator somewhere now. To see how well.
I saw that.
Mike McDaniel.
Yes.
Yeah, see how well he does now as an offensive coordinator. I know, I mean, obviously he was good before.
Yeah.
But, I mean, when he was in Miami, I mean, they were giving him the talent. But I think Tua was just a... Yeah,
it doesn't always work
out.
No,
he was not the choice.
Yeah.
you could have gotten somebody better. I mean, definitely an athlete. It's just... I just don't think the running quarterbacks in the NFL are going to pan out to be, Super Bowl winning. I mean, Jalen Hurts got a Super Bowl, but he doesn't run that much. And nothing, you won a Super Bowl, I don't care.
Yep.
Even if he's just a game manager, you won a Super Bowl, man. Yep. That's awesome. Like, you're talented.
Right, you got the skill, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. So, I just don't see him. I mean, we watched one of the greatest ever in Michael Vick.
Yep.
And he was phenomenal. And the way he could throw, and he can never win a Super Bowl.
Didn't he come back as a coach, though, too? Wasn't he coaching?
He coaches in college.
Oh, that's what it is. I knew I saw a news article somewhere there.
He coaches in college, because I think, too, I forget, he was coaching his college team against another college team that was a former NFL player, too. I forget who, though. And I forget where he coaches. But, yeah, he's back in college just coaching.
The players come in to do it. It's more of like a manager. Like, nobody wants to work for a guy. Everything's like that. Jobs are like that. The military's like that. You can be an officer. You can come in as an officer and get a degree and be an officer right away. Or you can start down, I think it's like E4, and then you work your way up. And from my understanding, at least as far as the many military people that I know, they're the same way, that they appreciate an officer who came up in the rankings. Like, they want to see you come through it. They don't want to see you just get a degree and come in, and say, my job, I don't know, like every job I've ever had, like I've had tons more respect for jobs, for managers who are like, they started as a grunt and they move their way up,
And that's, prime... I mean, exactly what you're saying, because where I work now, like, this is my first corporate job, and I deal with the people at the plants who are on the ground level. So I feel like I talk to them better, and I get a lot more respect from them, because I hated when I was that person, and then I had these people up in the office telling me what to do, but it's like, you don't know what I do.
Exactly.
You have no clue what I do.
Exactly.
How are you going to tell me how to do stuff when you've never done it?
Right.
And what's the best way to do it when you've never done it?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you just sit up there in your palace pretending that you're whatever.
Looking down on the rest of us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Well, hey, since we're on that topic, why don't you tell me something about your job history? I don't think we've ever actually gone through job history.
Just, so the viewers out there can get a little better idea of where we came from, what we do, and definitely my experience, since we're 10 years apart, is probably a little different from yours, but when I got out of high school, I tried to go to college, and I moved into a house with 4 other dudes, and all of us except one person all dropped out within the first semester.
Yep.
So college wasn't a thing right away for me. I decided to just get to work, and I ended up working at the Quad Graphics doing printing.
Nice. Which one? Which
the one in Sussex.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah. So I did that for I did it for 2-3 years. Then I tried and when I turned 21, I tried to go back to school again. Well, it was right after I turned. I was trying to do school full time, and then I was getting to get a part-time job, which I just decided to do something stupid instead of getting a part-time job. So, and then again, right after turning 21, where do you think I spent my time? I was at the bar.
There we go. I'm sorry, I was still in the job kick.
Yeah,
so, okay.
no. So the school didn't end up working out. So, right back at Quad Graphics.
Hey, they'll take you back though, baby.
They did take me back. So I did that for 10 years. I got into their OIT program, which was operator in training.
Nice.
So it was kind of just a way to move up quicker. It was a year-long program. You had to take classes at Quad Graphics. I don't even know. I think I took like over 90 courses.
So is this to be a press operator though?
Yeah.
This is in the press department,
Yeah, it was in
right?
the press room.
Okay,
Yeah,
the press room. Yeah.
Yeah, so that started out as a jogger. The first couple days, or first, I would say, I don't know, like the first 2 weeks, I started where it was just lifting a stack of books and moving them to a pallet for 12 hours.
Yep.
And then I got moved to a different press where it was a bundle tech, where, the books just come down, they're stacked, they're put on a pallet, and then I don't know, every 30 minutes I move a pallet with a pallet jack, or not a forklift. I think we call it like
walk
a Big
behind?
Joe.
Yeah, Big Joe walk behind.
Yeah. And move those out to the aisle. And then after that, it was they put on a whole new edition and added, what was it? 103, 105, 106, 108. So they added 5 presses. And it was actually a pretty cool thing to see. What they did were, then it was like this whole area where it was all this big bundle cell, we called it. So you had 4 stackers for every press. So you had 4 different, running different portions of a magazine. And all the magazines, all of like the portion of the magazine, because you'd run, 8 pagers, 16 pagers, 32 pagers.
Right.
And all of them would run across the ceiling. It was so cool. So you had, at the end of it, you had the 5 plus another 2 that were at the end that eventually got added into that cell area. So you got 10 presses, and you just walk out there and you just see magazines running across the ceiling. Which, I mean, at the time, I was, 21.
Yep.
The technology like that, I was like, this is pretty sweet,
So what year would that have been? Been 19 years ago.
Yeah. I don't know, math. But I'm just trying. It was before 2008.
2007.
Yeah, so because I remember being there in 2008.
Yep.
When the market crashed.
How was that over there, Quad?
Not good.
That was bad.
Yeah, that was my one buddy I was working with, we were kind of like, dude, if either of us get fired, we're moving in together.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you got to make it happen somehow, right?
Oh yeah, because it was. You are on the press. I think at that time I was a roll tender, so then I was at the opposite end of the press, and I was feeding the press with rolls of paper.
Yeah.
And they were moving people from press to press, and it's like you saw that phone ring, you were hoping they weren't asking for you, because you were getting walked out.
Oof.
And then even after they did all the layoffs, because I think they laid off like 15 to 20 people per shift in the press room, so there were 4 shifts in the press room. Then obviously in finishing it was the same thing, but I think in finishing it was even more people.
Right.
So after we got through that, but then you were bouncing around from plant to plant. So I was working in West Dallas, I was working in Pewaukee, I was working in Hartford. It was
just to try and find your work? Was that the idea?
Just so I could get work,
yeah. Them.
Wherever they needed you, that's where you were going.
Yeah.
And
that's how you get the hours.
And even some people were getting sent to Lamira.
Oh, dude, I remember that.
Yeah, so that's like an hour drive, hour and a half drive.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Fortunately, I never got sent there. I mean, the thing with Quad Graphics was, what I didn't like was the politics.
Yeah.
Like, you had to be on the in with some of the upper management. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you were getting shit on.
Oh, yeah.
So I fortunately was on the in, and I kind of had a good outlook for me. So, I mean, I moved up. I roll tended for, I don't know, a couple of years, and then I graduated that OIT program and got my raises, because you got a raise every, I think, 6 months or something, and became a second pressman. And that's when I was second press operator. So you were the backup to the guy operating the press. And that's when I was doing color. So you just look at the signatures, quality. And man, those days, you'd be so bored.
Oh yeah. Oh, don't I remember?
Oh, so bored looking at, like, the best thing that was when you were printing a tabloid.
I used to think that the press guys had it the best. I really did.
Oh,
but minus the heat though.
Way better
in
than
the summer.
Finishing. I had to work in finishing too during that time.
Yeah, no.
Because it was just wherever I could get hours, and finishing was awful.
Yeah,
it was terrible.
That's We'll when we get over to my job history, I'll let you know some more fun things about finishing.
It was never.
But the operators, at least in finishing, they always look like they had it easy. I mean, they'd walk away and go get lunch and stuff, whatever, and they just come back. They just, their second would just watch the machine, or they'd be like, "Hey, will you watch the machine?"
Well, and that was the same thing in the press room with your second pressman. It's like, if the operator left, he wanted to make sure his 2 second pressmen he could trust.
Yep.
Because you have to sit there, and all you have to do is sit there and look at a book.
Yep.
You two can just sit there and shoot the shit all day. Just look at a book.
Right.
And make sure nothing is going wrong. And then you have a wash like every 45
That's where you have
minutes.
to rotate the...
Well, that's when you go up and hose off the blankets.
Oh, okay.
So once you're splicing into a new roll of paper, because you got to throw it out.
Right.
And then you go wash the blankets, because you'll get piling in that on the blankets from the ink and that.
Right.
So that's just staying up with that. But yeah, it was after doing it for 10 years, I quit right before I turned 30.
So is that so 10 years total you did?
10 years total.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. That's
Because I was only gone for 6 months.
Okay, that's
So my time just was grandfathered in.
Nice, good.
So I got my 10 years in, and then I left. I couldn't. It was funny when I quit because you get to a point where that 10-year mark, and I went and told, and you make a lot of friendships. I still have friends that I talk to all the time that still work there.
Right.
And a lot of cool people I met. A lot of weird people I met. A lot of weird people still too. But when I went and told them I was quitting, my supervisors were just like, yeah, it's like you're at the point where you got to make the choice of getting the hell out of here, or you're going to do this as your career.
Yep.
Because when I started working there at 19, I remember telling like some of my mom's friends, I think we were like at her 50th birthday party.
Right.
And I were like, oh, what are you doing? You know, I was just out of high school. And I'm like, oh, I got a job at Quad Graphics. And at that time, you know, it was still man, you got in Quad Graphics? That's great. You know, that was because it used to be a tough place to get in. You had to know somebody. And I mean, at that time when I did get in, it was still kind of that way.
Right.
But not
it's like prestigious almost a little bit to be hired there.
Yeah. So yeah, I jumped out of there, and then I moved on to. I had a friend that worked at a bottling company here in Pewaukee that made rum chata. So I moved over there in their shipping department.
Nice.
And did the shipping over there for 5 years, driving a forklift, kind of moved my way up a little bit.
So we're at like 2016 right now.
Yeah.
2017. 2016.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's. I just came in there. I just had no experience, obviously. I took a pay cut, but it was, I don't have to work 12-hour shifts. I don't have to work weekends. And I don't have to work nights anymore.
And the weekends. God.
Yeah.
Oh, because you were on the rotating.
Yeah. So
that's right.
I mean, when I first started, it was every other year. And then I don't remember when. They eventually switched to every 4 months.
Right.
Which I hated. Because once you got acclimated to nights, you're going back to days. And it's easy to get acclimated to days. That's what normal people do. They sleep at night. They work during the day. So we were just irritated because it was right after we were getting off at nights. It's like, oh, so we only get to work days for 4 months, so we got to go back to nights. It's like, why can't we start this next, whatever.
It was never a good rotation.
Yeah.
I hated it.
So I got the hell out of there, and I trained on a forklift.
Was it shipping and receiving or just shipping?
I helped everywhere. Yeah. And I got to a point, like we'll get to that, where that's a big reason why I left there too, was because when I go to a job, I have to have growth.
Yeah.
If I have no growth, then I don't want to be here.
Yep.
So when I got in there, I was trying to learn as much as possible, and then growing there, learning, all of the aspects of the shipping side of things. That's where I learned exporting, and all the exporting, all the stuff that goes into it for shipping alcohol. Yeah. It's just crazy. Yeah. And then obviously, I went down and I learned on the receiving side, helping with all that stuff. And then I even had me over in production, and then they put me in charge of the whole recycling program. So I was just trying to learn everywhere. And I was, my boss at the time, she was just teaching me so I could take over for her. Right. So I could run the department on my own. Man. So I could be the shipping manager. And that was the ultimate goal, was for me to take over. So I stuck around for a while. 5 years is a while. I was going to say, how long is she? Yeah, and it came to raise time. Oh, no, actually, at first it was, they fired somebody that was in my department, which made me so happy because I could not stand her. Nobody could stand her. I couldn't believe she was there as long as she did. And once they fired her, I was like the guy that did it. I was like, can I give you a hug? I was so happy because she thought she was the boss of everybody. I'm like, you can't even do half the amount I do, and you've been here 2 years longer than me. Right. You're just not all there. Like, some people just aren't smart.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yes, unfortunately, you just weren't gifted with that, and I'm sorry. So once they got rid of her, it was cool. But then they were trying to hire somebody, and it was somebody I knew. Like, I was doing the interviewing as well. And, my boss is like, well, you got to work with them every day. It's like, so it's kind of, who can fit in, because my boss and I, we hung out, we go get beers together. Her and I, we've known each other for a long time. I knew her before I worked there.
Oh, right. Okay.
So
that's helpful.
Yeah. So we got along, and she's just kind of like, who will fit in? And this kid I used to work with, at Quad, I was like, we really don't have to watch what we say. Like we can, it might be a lot better than what we had before.
Right.
So whatever. And then he got an offer and he told me about it. And I was like, are you serious? So they offered him more money than I was getting paid.
I hate that. That's a pet peeve.
Yeah, and then I was like, dude, I'm like, really? I'm like, let me see the offer. So he sent it to me, he texted it to me, and I saw it. And it was like 50 cents more an hour. I was like,
still,
this is
point.
Bull.
So wait, how you'd been there the 5 years by now, or you'd been there about
I had been there
years?
for like 3 years.
3 years.
Three years,
and then you try to get your buddy in, and this is where we ended up.
Well, he's not really a buddy.
Previous coworker.
Yeah.
Previous coworker.
So then he sent me the offer, so I was irate.
And actually?
Yeah, and I went to my boss, and she's like, I have nothing to do with this, so I don't know. So I was like, F this.
Yep.
So I marched over to the CEO's office.
Ooh.
And I was, small company, there's only 30 employees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not a big company.
Still.
Yeah. So I go into the CEO's office. I was like, hey, I'm like, why are you hiring somebody new that's getting paid more than me?
Right.
He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, right here.
Yeah.
Here's the offer to the kid you're going to hire, and you're going to pay him more than me.
Right.
And he was like, I'll take care of this.
Yeah.
So they had to rescind the offer to the kid, and they offered him like a quarter less than me.
Oh, for Pete's sakes. That's not what you meant.
No.
That's not what you meant at all. Was the guy butthurt about it?
He was fine. It was the kid's an idiot. I mean, he can't keep a job anywhere. So he was going to take. It didn't
matter.
Yeah, he was going to take whatever he could get.
Okay.
And it was a nice shift, 7 to 3.
Oh,
7 to 3:30, whatever.
Love to hear that.
So that went on and whatever. He
obviously put up with it for a little bit, hey?
Yeah, I mean, I got one solid raise, and then things went on, and I was getting to the point where I was like, okay, I know that he's getting paid more than me, because unfortunately, especially in a
smaller company,
a place like that, people talk about what they get paid.
Naturally, makes sense.
And I was frustrated because I was the only person in that company that could work in every department and had any ambition.
Yep.
So
your feelings.
I was like, all right, I'm gonna wait till raise time.
See what happens.
And then see, because I want now, I'm asking for $1.50 raise.
That doesn't even seem unreasonable.
No. So then I didn't get the dollar. I got a 75-cent raise, and then I got my bonus, and it was less than the previous year. I was like, okay. And then when I got all that, I just told my boss, I was like, I know what I have to do. And she's like, what does that mean? I'm like, I think you're aware. Mm-hmm. So I started looking for jobs immediately. And I think I would go sit in the corner on my forklift, and my boss would come and be like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm looking for jobs.
Yeah, obviously.
I was like, what do you think I'm doing?
I'm out of here.
Yeah. And within, 2 months, I got a new job, and when I told my boss, she wasn't happy. I mean, she cried when I left.
Naturally, I mean,
she was like, "There's
that's
nothing."
What happens when a good employee leaves.
She's like, "There's nothing I can do."
Yeah.
She's like, "I pushed for you to get your money, and they just wouldn't allow it." I was like, "Well, then I have to do what's best for me."
Nothing irked me more in life than knowing what 75 cents. Let's just say $1. Let's take easy numbers, okay?
Yeah.
What $1 means to the company. Oh, it's not in the budget.
Yeah.
$1.
Yeah.
By 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
$1.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's ignore overtime temporarily. So I have $40 a week. If you got paid $100 by 26 weeks, so you got paid every 2 weeks or whatever, right? I mean, you're talking peanuts. We're talking less than $5,000 for the whole year.
I know.
To pay me.
Exactly.
And I'm not worth that to you, apparently. It's worth it more to go pay some schmuck that has to be trained.
I know.
And training hours aren't paid the same as regular hours. Training costs more, takes twice as long, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
But no, we want to pay some schmuck.
Well, it's a common sense in business, I feel.
Yep.
It costs more money to get a new employee than it does to retain one.
Yep.
That's what I thought. But that's just...
If they're a good employee, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's how it is. So once I left there, I went to the plastics company here in Pewaukee.
In 2021, then?
That would have been...
We'd be in 21.
No, it was before that.
20?
Because, I was there during COVID.
I was just going to ask.
Yeah, so it was I started there right before, I think, COVID.
Because that's March of 2020 that went out.
Yeah, I think I started just right in 2019.
Okay. Right at the end?
Yeah. And, I got there with a $4 raise. Just out the bucket.
I try to explain this to people, and I let this serve as a small PSA. We don't live in a world where keeping your job anymore for piddly little raises, you need to keep your job for 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah.
That doesn't apply anymore. Employers, and I've verified this across many employers, employers are okay with you leaving your job 6 months in because you knew you could you do a better job for more pay. I mean, as long as your reasoning is solid behind that. you definitely should move jobs as often as you like. I can think of a multitude of people who made in the tens of thousands of dollars more.
Oh yeah,
a year doing that. You know.
Well, yeah, and that was, I mean, and that's, it sucks because I'm kind of like that middle like area where I would like to just find a job I can work there forever.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's just,
I mean, I feel like that's a normal thought.
I know,
you
but now it's just, that's not a possibility anymore. I feel.
No.
And you really got to find a good place that really treats you well and really appreciates what you do.
Right.
And I mean, when I worked at that plastics company, I worked there for 3 years.
Were they good to you? Obviously.
Yeah, they weren't bad. I mean, I got there, and after 6 months of being there, I was like, all right, this is dead end.
Yeah. That's.
And I was, more transportation. I was doing shipping. I was in charge of in the distribution center, I was in charge of, looking over all the shipments outgoing and then all the stuff incoming. And then obviously we had assembly lines of them building stuff and all that stuff. And I did, after 6 months, and who my boss was at the time was a total micromanager. I was like, this ain't gonna work out.
Right.
So I came home, like after 6 months, I told my wife, I was like, this is dead end. I'm like, I gotta do something. So what did I do? I went back to school.
No.
For the third time.
Hey, as many times as it takes.
Yes, so at 35, I decided to go back to school.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, it's never too late if you want to get more education. It's never too late. It's just more difficult the longer you wait because you have less time. But, so I did that. I went back to school for supply chain management.
Hey, there's a degree worth a damn.
I was already in it. I didn't mind what I did. I don't mind transportation. I don't mind logistics. I got to use my head. I got to use my brain. So that's what I did. I started going to school, and I was there for about a year. And then I got promoted to be their shipping manager and then / logistics coordinator.
Yeah.
So I got moved over to the main building where they did production. And I ran the shipping and receiving warehouse over there, and then I oversaw all the imports coming in. We imported a lot of metal and that from China.
Right.
So I oversaw all the ocean freight coming in.
Very nice.
Yeah, and it was a nice bump in pay.
Sounds like a big boy job
at the time.
Me.
Yeah, and I was still going to school. It was an easy job.
Yeah.
So I was very content just working there until I finished school.
Right.
And then to where I'm currently at, while I was there, they reached out to me. I was actually interviewing for 2 jobs at one time. It was between the job I have now and another one, which I thought the other one I was more qualified for because it was another warehouse management job.
Right.
And it was a lot of pay. It was a lot more pay. I mean,
both jobs were a lot
both were a lot more pay.
Because these were degree jobs at this point.
Well, I didn't have a degree yet.
Oh, okay.
They were just on experience.
Okay, so this wasn't like you go do an internship.
Yeah,
no.
Okay. So the one job I was interviewing for was just to run a warehouse. I would have been in charge of 12 employees. Mm-hmm. Where I was currently at, I was only in charge of 1 employee, and I was in front, and he was like 65 years old. So it was kind of whatever. We make that work.
Right.
Which was not as bad as people would think. Since somebody that's been there for 35 years, they're kind of in their ways, but you got to work with them.
Heels dug in.
Yeah, and I've always, I've been in charge of people before where it was like you got to kind of be a people person. You got to understand how people communicate and how you can just get to them to get them to do what you need to get done.
Absolutely.
And so I got it with him. It made it work. But anyways, the one job, where I thought I was more fit was another warehouse manager job in Germantown. And I thought I had the job. I did, I think, 2 or 3 interviews. My last interview, I sat and talked to him for almost 2 hours. And I was like, okay, I'm like, you're sitting and talking to somebody for 2 hours. Like, I got to have the job. And then I was also interviewing for my current job, which was completely corporate, working in an office. Right. Never had that job before. I didn't think I was qualified for it. I didn't think there was a chance in hell I was going to get it.
Stars, baby. Shoot for the stars.
And it was what was it? Transportation specialist was the title.
Nice.
Because it was, we need somebody to, that's been in transportation. We do bulk trucks and we do rail as our main forms of transportation.
Nice.
Like, well, I've never done rail.
Right.
Bulk trucks is something new to me. So
you're adaptable, though. I mean, I think your work history really kind of shows how adaptable you are. I think employers look for that more these days. Yeah, and it ended up, I didn't get that job at the warehouse, and then, I did 2 interviews with these people, and after I left the second interview, they called me immediately, hey. That's a good sign.
So I took the job, and I've been here now for over 3 years, and which is cool is I work with the company. I'm in the beer business. So it's a fun business. We make malt for distillers and brewers all over the country. So, I mean, who doesn't
And
want
malt isn't an ingredient.
an
Just
ingredient for the
who don't
beer?
know.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we buy a lot of barley and then we turn it into malt for breweries and distilleries. So I mean, that's a cool business to
That's
be
fun.
in.
That's a fun
It's
topic,
a great
too.
business to be in.
Right.
And I had a lot of fun, and that was always I wanted to get back into the liquor industry because I always thought that was recession proof.
Yeah, it kind of is. Kind of is. The more depressed you get, the more booze you need, right?
Yeah, well, 2020 it's skyrocketed,
Yeah.
but now we're seeing a huge
Right,
dip now.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I'm here and I oversee all of our rail, and I'll tell you what, the rail is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind staying in rail.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna just turn down any other opportunities because it's not rail.
Yeah.
It's just another thing now for me. I have worked in every form of transportation. I've
Right.
done air, I've done ocean, I've done rail.
That's
I've
such a
done
cool thing to
truck.
say. That's such a
Yeah.
cool thing to say.
And the rail is, I think, it's a never-ending learning process. And even ocean, I mean, when we dealt with a vessel that caught on fire, like maritime law, I've never even, but then I finally dealt with it. I was
Right.
like, okay, so everybody that had anything on that ship has to fork out some money to repair the ship and to pay for anything that was damaged. Doesn't matter.
The companies who shipped
Anything,
on the
if
boat,
you had a container on that boat, you're liable for anything that was damaged.
even if it's the boat's fault that it burned down,
I don't know I mean, what we dealt with, I don't know whose fault it was, but a fire started.
and the companies,
And
have to pay.
everybody that had anything on there,
Is it an even chip or is it based on
It's
how
an even
quantity?
chip.
Oof.
so
you could have half your cargo on
Yeah.
that boat and you pay the
Yeah.
same as a guy who's got a container.
So we ended up, I think, we didn't have like, typically you don't really run it. Because all they do, when you're in the ocean and that and you have a fire, like you're just throwing it over.
Yeah.
You're just kicking containers
Yeah, I mean, what else
off.
are you
We got to
supposed to do?
contain the fire. You just
Yeah.
kick them off into the ocean.
Wow.
So we didn't have any insurance for that stuff. And so I think we had to fork out a check for like 65 grand.
That's
Just-
not too
no,
bad.
it's not-
less bad
Well,
than I was
you gotta-
picturing.
but you
thought we were
see
about
these
to say a
ships.
million. Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot. Like I'm sure
Oh.
there's some company that probably only had like 2 or 3 containers on there.
Yeah, right.
Where we probably had 15 or 20.
Yeah.
And then there's probably another company that had like
so,
150.
So I think a small guy who still had
Yeah.
to fork out that extra
Yeah.
money that they didn't have.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
But yeah, the current job I have now, it's fun business. I don't like that the alcohol is taking a huge dip, 90-year low. But when I first got there, within the first 3 months, they sent me down to Kentucky to go see do the Bourbon Trail.
Yeah. Oh, I love the Bourbon
'Cause
Trail.
we have such a huge presence there.
Yeah.
And it's the rail is fun, the job is cool, and you have to use your brain, and that's what I like. You have to be very strategic, and then I oversee all of our rail shipments out of all 3 plants that we have.
That's why you like your job, because it requires your mind. You like the human brain has to be challenged on a daily basis.
Yeah, it can be stressful, but I need to be challenged.
Yeah.
I can't be bored. Like that's why when
people
I was at
don't.
that plastics company, it's like I can do school and do this because it was
Yep.
just so easy.
Yeah, you need something on autopilot to
Yeah.
be able to function with school at the same time.
So definitely I'll tell you that going and getting my associate's degree definitely helped. I finished that after I got this job. I was in my last semester when I got this job I'm currently at, and I finished it while doing it. Mm-hmm. And which sucked was because my last semester I had to go full time.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want, otherwise the classes were offered not until the following spring.
And you weren't going to wait. No.
So-
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where I'm at. Logistics has taken over my life the past 10 years, which is definitely not a bad thing. I'm glad I got into it. I think it'll be here for a long time. It's just a matter of what business you're in.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I know with you took a little bit of a different route than I did. You're not even 35 and you've already finished college.
What's so funny about that to me is that I didn't graduate college until I was 24. Well, it's a couple years behind everybody else. Everybody else who went to college full time or
Yeah.
even worked and went to college, almost everybody finished at 21, 22. They either finished early or they finished on time. So I got out of high school.
Going for the same degree, or is this friends going for
all over. I
Yeah.
mean, no. I didn't have a lot of friends that went for my degree. I had a couple roommates that went for the same degree as I did,
And
or a different portion of the degree that I did.
And what did you go for?
So I liked cars, right? I had been
Yeah.
working in that truck shop, sweeping floors and stuff, and so cars had really become like a part of my personality.
Yeah.
Well, my dad was a mechanical engineer, and he said that cars are going to become electric. This was back then. This is 2008, 9, 10.
Yeah.
Electric cars weren't, Tesla wasn't this big thing like it is now, you know what I mean? Electric cars were still too expensive to manufacture. Nobody had done it perfectly yet at this point. And I'm like, you know what? He's right. Cars are going to become electric. So what do I have to do? I was like, what? He goes, you don't want to be a mechanic and bust your knuckles for the rest of your life. He goes, find something that you like and then correspond it into something that'll make your life easy. Okay. So electrical engineering ended up being the choice. Yeah. I just said that, and I think I said it to myself. It wasn't, I'm not in love with numbers. I'm not in love with math. I'm not in love with the idea of working like that either. Working at a desk is not interesting to me in any way, but...
No, it doesn't. I mean,
but busting your knuckles every day, that also isn't interesting to me.
I think once you hit like my age, you're gonna probably be happy. Like, all right, I'm glad I got that desk job. But with having a desk job so young, you got to make sure you're being active outside of it.
Right. Well, so that's how I perceived it. I told myself that all through high school. I took classes in high school for college. Those ended up being useless, by the way. Ended up going to WCTC. I was going to live at home to save money, and then. After living at home, finished my associate's degree, and then transfer over to a 4-year, and then move downtown. They had a program. WCTC had a program with UW Milwaukee.
Yeah, automatic transfer.
And it was just it was supposed to be 1-to-1. You'd get almost all your credits. I think they were talking an electrical engineering degree is 142 credits, 146 credits, and you would have came over with 115, 116.
Oh wow! So you were going there for like a semester, a year.
If you did it full time, you could have been done in like a year. But after you transferred, But if you wrote it out, it took longer. Most people didn't take 18 credits. Taking 18 engineering credits is insane.
Yeah,
I did that in the beginning. I did do that.
I think for any degree, 18 credits is insane.
Well,
unless that's all you're doing.
My whole thing twisted right away after high school. So I ended up moving out right away when I was 18. And after I was 18, I think I had done like a semester at home, my parents' house. And I just realized that wasn't going to fly because just my parents had a different idea of what. It didn't matter that I was working and going to school because they had done that their entire lives. That meant nothing to them. Yeah. You still have chores to do. You still need to mow the lawn, blah, blah, blah. And I just wanted to go out and have fun, So I'm like, I don't jive with these rules.
I'm out.
Moved in with a buddy, had reconnected with a buddy who is now a best friend, and we moved out at that time. So I'm going to school, working a job, and because I was 18, I was in school, 18 to like 19 probably. I took a job at AutoZone in Sussex, actually. It was freshly built back then at that time.
One in Sussex.
Right over by Pick and Save, across the street from Pick and Save over there on 164, right next to the McDonald's.
Oh, yeah.
I worked at the Sussex AutoZone.
Nice.
I think for an entire year. So now at this point, I'm still working at the truck shop, sweeping floors. I'm working at AutoZone, part-time, I guess you'd say.
Yeah.
Going to school full-time at this time. Don't do that. That's terrible. Yep. And then I'm working on cars besides all of this with my buddies. So we're taking the discounts we're getting from AutoZone, buying our parts, making money. Like I'm just making money hand over fist and partying like it's going out of style, and going to school. Yeah. And I did so well at WCTC. Their professors are former engineers, their former workplace corporate people.
Yeah, that's one good thing about CTC. It's usually people that were on the job experience.
Yep. And I respected that, and they showed me. And if I didn't learn one way, somebody could show me another way, so on and so forth. That went on until graduated high school 2013, and then I think I graduated from WCTC with my degree in 2019. No, that's way too long. 2016 maybe, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, probably somewhere around there, about 2016, maybe 2017, because that would have been 4 years. So I took way too long because I started bumping down how many classes I was taking. Yeah. But I didn't care. I'm working, I'm goofing around, I'm having fun.
Yeah, take it slow and make sure you just get it done.
Right. Well, so I was working at AutoZone, and then like you, I don't like jobs without growth. They needed a guy came in from the Hartford store. Yeah. And he ended up being the store manager at that store. Total douchebag, but he was just an older guy. And I would love for you to come work at my store or whatever. Like, I can tell you know what you're talking about. I had filled in at his store once or twice, and then he came into my store. He's like, would you like to be a manager over at the Hartford store? We need more managers, so gray shirts. And I'm like, yeah. So I'm living in Pewaukee. I'm driving to Hartford, so just straight up 164 basically, all the way there. And I was a store manager. I'm counting down drawers. I'm running employees. Like, I'm having fun. This is like fun to me. I'm still getting a discount. I'm still working on cars. I'm still going to school and still
getting it all done. Yeah.
I'm getting it all done. I mean, back when I had that kind of crazy energy.
Yeah. And no kids.
And no kids back then. And so, I mean, like, I wasn't responsible for anybody but me.
Yeah.
So that was on. I get in a huge fight with a guy. No, my store manager, one of the other employees says something disgusting, just absolutely grotesque. And I'm not a light stomach. He just said something that was hateful and disgusting towards women. Yeah. And I'm not like that. I don't appreciate that. His wife had come in, something about a lunch, whatever, and then he said something about his birthday, something just disgusting about his wife. And I'm like, I don't jive with that. So I go tell the store manager, and I kid you not, he bumps me and goes, "Oh, come on, Corum. You know how it is sometimes to get what you want." And I'm like, I seriously took my badge off right there in the back room, and I slapped it down on the table. Yeah. And I'm like, "Hey, I'm done." Yeah. And I get on my bike. At the time, I had another bike back then, a Honda. I get on my bike and I drive all the way home. My roommate always got home before me. He worked concrete back then, so he'd get done a little afternoon at some points. So he was home at 2. I come in and he goes, "Hey, we thought you were working the night shift tonight, And I'm like, "Nope." I'm like, "Here's what happened. I'm done with that." Yeah. So at that time, I pick up a job at a gas station, just kind of biding my time, and ended up working at Quad Graphics all around this time. No. So this I actually do know because 2013, so it must have been 14, 15 at AutoZone, and it must have been 15, 16 at Quad Graphics. And then I thought I worked at Quad Graphics right away when I was 18 still. I think I was 19 or 20.
So you would have been at, because
You left in 16.
No, I left before that, because I quit right before I bought my house.
So you left in
2012, 2013 I left.
Yeah, because you was right after. Well, I thought you had some time. Oh, you said it was only 6 months that Quad Graphics that you had left at that meeting time. Because so just say, I'm thinking 15, like end of 15. Would you have still been there, or would you have been gone by then?
2014 is when I quit.
Yeah.
2014 is when I quit.
Because you graduated in 2003, right?
2004.
2004?
Yeah.
Okay. So you graduated in 04.
So I would have quit in 2014.
Yeah. Okay, in 10 years, and you were only gone from Quad for 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay, so 10 years. So 14. So you were gone just as I showed up.
Yeah.
But my dad had worked for Quad Graphics as a mechanical designer for 15 years. Okay. And he had talked about it, like flying him on a jet.
Oh, yeah, they got all
week
the private
here,
jets.
week there, doing this at this plant.
Oh, yeah.
So, and
you
he's
see
like,
all the Quad Graphics coming out of Cratesfield here in Waukesha.
And he always bragged about Harry Quadracci.
Harry was the man.
He was the top dog, whatever. Yeah. He had passed in this amount of time somewhere in there.
Yeah, so he was gone before I started.
Yeah, so, I mean, he wasn't there when I was there either. No. I didn't know that back then. So we get there.
Very different company when he was there.
Oh, yeah. Finishing department. Finishing technician is what I ended up taking on as. Yeah. And it was, it's grunt work. It's, you're moving pallets, you're moving stuff.
You're just going to school. What
do I care?
You know this is just temporary.
Yeah. And I think back then, I want to say it was like $15 an hour, $14 an hour or something. So I was making it in, dude. They were desperate. Yeah. They had a sign out front. They were offering $13.50, $14. And then the night shift was just another $1 or 75 cents, whatever it was.
They changed a lot of that stuff after I left.
Well, so I didn't realize, though. I quickly did start to figure out, because my dad's like, it's not the same company. But he decided to tell me that after I worked there.
Well, like you said, you knew it was a temporary thing. So who cares?
What did I care, right? Yeah. I guess. So, you know what? I do think it was 2014 that I ended up starting there, because it was only a year and some change after high school. So probably mid-14. But my dad's laughing because he's like, I know you're not going to stay there. He goes, it's a crap company. And I end up talking to a lot of the other finishing technicians who are 40 years, 30 years. Yeah. And they're like, dude, don't do it. Yeah. They're rotating shifts. I make friends. I like these guys. These guys are guys. I end up switching myself to night shifts because I can take more classes
during the day. Yep.
And then, but it's 7 to 7 still, so it doesn't really matter. But you're part-time, you pick your own hours. Yeah. Well, I'd screw myself a lot because I'd pick hours and then I'd have an exam or something the next day,
Gotta be careful.
Yeah, oh, dude, it burned me out fast, needless to say. But I also liked it because you could screw around on third shift and not have to worry about none of the bigwigs were there, so who cared anyway.
That's true.
But I decided it just wasn't for me anymore. I'm tired of working like a grunt like this, and I ended up, I think after that, I ended up working for a landscaping company, Associated Landscape Services. I don't even remember how I got hooked up over there. Oh, truck shop closed.
Yeah.
Truck shop's friend guy owned a landscaping company.
So you just jumped over there.
I have my entire life, I have moved from job to job that way.
Always know, you know.
I always know the next guy.
It's not about what you know, it's about who you know.
Right. And it has panned out that way my entire life. So at this point, I go to work for that landscaping company. And so if this is still 14, 15, we'll just say, 15, 16. I'm not done at WCTC yet. I work for that landscaping company for a summer.
Yeah.
The landscaping company across the street was looking for plow guys.
Okay.
So the winter's coming up.
So, yeah.
So I'm like, yo,
good job, yeah.
you know, and with no malice, I don't even remember how I heard about it. A girl who worked for the city worked for this company too, Carl's Lawn Maintenance.
Yeah.
Across the street. He was still small time back then. He only had 2 trucks and trailers and it plows, maybe like 3 plows, something like that. And he still worked a good chunk of it. And shout out to Carl's Lawn Maintenance. He goes, the girl tells me, show up here, meet him, talk to him. I meet Carl for the first time.
Yeah.
Show up, talk to him. He gives me an interview, and I could already tell this wasn't like some BS paper interview. This was phone calls. He's standing in front of me. He wants, hey, do you know how to run this? Hey, do you know how to, hey, no, I don't know how to run the lasers. I didn't know how to run the big laser mowers.
Yeah.
But he's like, jump on it real quick, and he saw that I figured it out in about 40 seconds.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't take me that long mechanically to figure out equipment.
Yeah.
I can
With
start
your
and run
experience,
just about anything at this point. You know, construction equipment, dump trucks, take your pick. I can run just about anything. Stick, not stick, whatever. So he's like, all right, you got the job. He goes, you can plow for me. He goes, have you plowed before? And I'm like, yes. Had I plowed before?
No.
One time before that.
Yeah.
One time, because my boss was sick and he asked me to do it. No, it was once, so it was whatever, right?
Yeah.
But again, it's not. The qualifications to me for jobs are always kind of a joke because it's easy to be qualified in 60 seconds if you want to be for most things.
Yeah.
You know, if I can figure it out, I'm just going to say I'm qualified because I'll figure it out and then be qualified.
Yeah.
So I worked there. I ended up working there for a few years and then I had graduated WCTC. I think I told him, I was like, hey, it's time for me to go, you know. Yeah. So WCTC must have taken me 5 years because this would be about 2018. And then I ended up downtown at UWM.
For what, a year?
Yeah, right. I did not do well when I moved down there. I moved down there with some buddies who had a place down there already.
So you got sidetracked as well.
I got real sidetracked. Between girls and between booze, it was just kind of like...
That's the tough thing.
And we lived so close to campus, bro.
Yeah.
I could just walk. I could wake up 4 minutes before class and just fast walk to class. Jog. The engineering building was right across the street. Across the street. I lived right down on Frederick. And so that was a problem. So then, you know, somewhere in there for, he's probably about 2018. So I spent 5 years at CTC, which was sad. I mean, that was sad.
And like I said, slow, whatever. You just gotta...
Yeah, I mean...
You know, slow and steady wins the race.
So I'm thinking, okay, how fast can I finish this? I end up taking 18 credits my first 2 semesters. I bombed Calculus 4, I think.
Because you use that all the time, I'm sure.
I couldn't understand the teacher. I couldn't understand his accent. So I got a D+. Pardon me. I didn't fail. I got a D+.
I mean,
he goes, I'm going to give you a D. Yep. He goes, I'm going to give you a D+. I'm like, all right, I'll take that. That's fine. Because back then, that was passing. I moved through my curriculum at this point. I ended up working... I still plowed in the winter for Carl's Lawn Maintenance, but I ended up taking a job at Goodwill. No shit. Right down the street. So I'm working at Goodwill making pennies. Still working enough to pay for
rent and whatever you need. Yeah.
So it was like whatever. And working on cars, obviously, making money with that. By this time, I had already been renting a shop in New Berlin. So I had been renting a shop in New Berlin for so long. I'm making money out of there too. So it didn't matter. So I end up working at Goodwill. I work on finishing my degree. I get suspended for a semester.
Because of poor grades?
Such bad grades. Oh, yeah. They were terrible. And then that was kind of like you don't get suspended twice.
Yeah, you better wait.
You're done the second time.
Yeah,
That's
get her done. Yeah.
So
time to get your head on and...
Yeah, I was like, all right, I'm just going to grind out. COVID hits. I'm doing well. All of a sudden,
everything's online.
I'm studying with other people.
So
yes, I don't learn like that. I don't learn like that.
Oh, it was such a joke.
It's such a hard thing. I can't learn like that.
For me, it was so easy.
I'm not with the math and stuff too.
Well,
Once it started to get into like more complex stuff, I couldn't I couldn't do it. You know what I mean? So I had trouble with that. I ended up hooking up with a crowd that helped me out there a lot. I end up, did I quit Goodwill by this time? I ended up quitting Goodwill because I'm like, why am I working for $8.95 an hour?
When you're almost graduating.
I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. I don't know why I even bothered doing that, but I just saved so much money during the summer working.
Yeah.
I didn't care. And I always had worked at a gas station or something too. So, but instead of working two $8.95 an hour jobs,
might as well just get one that pays the same as 2 jobs.
Duh, right? I end up taking a job I find at the career fair for a shipping and receiving position. Okay. Inventory maintenance.
There you go.
Long story short on that, I walk in. The old mechanic had walked out a week later. He quit. And I found out later why he quit, because the same reason I ended up quitting. But it was a good place. I could work whatever hours I wanted, come in and out. And they saw I was good with it. I could drive a forklift. That was easy. Yeah. My forklift breaks. I popped the hood on it. Alternator was bad. I was like, yo, if you give me an alternator, I'll swap this real quick. And be good to go. So I had that forklift back running, and as long as time as it took him to run to the parts store and get it for me, right? Yeah. And I get that forklift back running, and not the next day, CEO comes up to me. Yeah,
you're definitely above this.
Can you fix stuff? And I'm like, yeah, why? And they're like, do you want to work in the maintenance department? So they 50-50'd me for a while. So I had 50% of my time I'd work in the maintenance department. I learned about PMs with forklifts and stuff, but it starts to transition from that. They've got scissor lifts. They've got forklifts. And they don't have one forklift. They had 22 forklifts at this time. So they got about 18 of them down. Yeah. And this warehouse is like 150,000 square feet. It's an insane building. I mean, more than that. Probably more like 200,000 square feet building. So they need them, you can't have 4 of them running at a time. No. So I started fixing them like it's going out of style, but then it turns into like, hey, can you fix our box truck? Hey, they got a school bus over in the...
So they just keep on pushing you to do more.
They worked on mail trucks in the building too, so I even got to learn about mail trucks for Pete's sakes. Yeah. I got to learn about everything.
So jack of all trades.
And then the CEO's got me working on his Mercedes-Benz. He's like, hey, Mercedes wants to charge me for this pop top. They want to charge me $1,600. He goes, can you fix it? And I was like, I will bet you a seafood boil that I have your Mercedes top fixed before noon today. Yeah. And this is 8:30 in the morning. And he goes, you're on. Just make it happen. I'm like, all right. And I was like, and I'm leaving for the day when I'm done. Yeah. And he goes, and I'm still getting paid. And he goes, you're on. I do it. It took me almost the whole time. I almost didn't make the bet. Yeah. But I got his Mercedes top fixed. And he's like, you just saved me $1,600. And I was like, good, now give me your credit card so I can go get myself a seafood boil.
Yeah, no kidding.
He did. He ponied up. He's like, you got it. Here you go, Corm, here's my card. And I take off. I worked that job for, I thought a long time, but I think it was only like 3 or 4 years I worked that job. But it was just such an easy job.
Even after, did you get your degree while you were working there?
I wasn't done with my degree. I was almost done with my degree because I'm 30, so it would have been 2021. Okay. I got my degree 2021, I think, is when I got my degree, because I got my degree when I was 24, and then I just turned 25. So I got my degree 5 years ago. So 2021.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I'm still working towards my degree. I'm able to not work a lot and able to come in, fix a ton of stuff. But after I fixed everything, then it was just buttered. I was just sitting around. Yeah. I'm sitting around waiting for things to be. I'm sitting in my office. I got my own office with tools. I got my feet up. I'm doing homework. I'm studying. Yeah. They didn't care. Nobody came to bother me. Nobody said anything.
I fixed everything.
Yeah, everything's good. He bought more broken stuff just for me to fix other stuff. So I'm like, all right, this is fine. No big deal. And then I'm like, I guess I got 1 semester left, a semester and some change. Yeah. I need to start looking for an internship and get myself in the door somewhere. So I end up seeing a place at the career fair again. Yeah. And I apply. And funny enough, it's 2 guys, because we weren't allowed in the school building anymore. So 2 guys I'm studying with, we're all meeting at the school. You could come to the school, but nobody else was there. Yeah. So me and a bunch of guys are meeting in a room and studying for exams. I need to pass. Yeah. There's no question. At this point, I end up passing both last semesters with 4.0s. So nice. It was great. I didn't get the honors for it because it didn't up my GPA. You know what I mean?
Still,
so I was proud of myself. Whatever. Yeah. And that says it on my transcripts. I can show it on my transcripts. But I was super proud of that. And the one guy goes, hey, I'm looking at a job at such and such place. He's a Hispanic guy. Me and him are talking. We're friends. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I applied at such and such place. He said one name. I said another name. He used the acronym and I used the full name.
Yeah.
We didn't put 2 and 2 together at that time.
Okay.
Just after exams, I find out he had rejected the job.
Okay.
And I had been calling and calling. I was always taught, if you want it, call.
Yeah,
Call.
yeah.
Email, call.
Yeah.
Show them that you want it.
Yep.
I email and call every day, every other day, and left voicemails or whatever. And they're like, we'll get back to you, I didn't think I was getting it. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I got to go find another job, right? And they call me. I find out years later because my Hispanic friend turned down the job.
You got it.
I got the next phone call.
Oh, lucky you.
So, a 3-hour interview, 3.5-hour interview with the directors of the engineering department. It was just, It was crazy at this time. And I mean, I'm not a book smart guy. I'm still not a book smart guy. I can bring you mechanical aptitude. Whatever you need, I can fix it. They're like, have you ever worked with 1200 amps before? No. They're like, do you know, I worked with 240 and 480 at best volts. Yeah. And like 30, 40 amps, nothing insane. Machinery. I became a machine technician at that job, that last job. And I'm like, I do a lot of machine repair. And they're like, well, how do you do that? And I'm like, well, I have to order a lot of the schematics and stuff from like Sweden. A lot of these machines are German, they're Sweden. Yep. And these are big CNCs. I know nothing about these. And a lot of them are even like the cabinets, they've got PLCs, they're fully run automatically. I just taught myself how to do it. Yeah. And I think they saw the aptitude there. And they're like, okay, so this guy's not a genius in the books.
But he can learn.
But he can figure it out.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I think that's really what won me the job. I ended up becoming friends, 2 of the guys who interviewed me later. Mm-hmm. And the other guys they interviewed were total idiots, other than my Hispanic buddy. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll take the job. They send me an offer for an internship. So this is for $22 an hour.
Yeah.
At this time, I'm making $26 or $27 an hour. I'm taking a fat pay cut. Yeah. In the idea that I'm doing it for the long-term goal of making money. Yeah. I do the internship, I graduate, they never even asked to see my degree. I end up taking a full-time offer for exactly what I owed in loan debt. So that's why I was like, that's a good number. All right, we'll take that. So I end up doing that, and that's what I'm doing currently. I'm a lead electrical engineer right now. That's my job title. I work on an active filter team, and we build active filters, man.
I got plenty of work for you to do around here.
Yeah, I'm a vendor. I'm a vendor liaison, so it actually works out pretty good. I work a lot with the companies who build stuff for us. Yeah. So I work pretty close in our purchasing department, and I work with a little bit with marketing and stuff. Okay. So I like you said, I look for a job with growth, man. Yeah. But I also look for a job with good benefits in the end. Yeah. To do other things. My life doesn't want to be about work. This part of this podcast idea is that your life doesn't have to be about work for the rest of your life. You want to clock out and leave.
Yes.
And still be able to function.
And do something you kind of enjoy. Like, I enjoy this. Yep. And that's why I was glad when I spoke to you about doing this, that you were immediately just like, yeah. Yep. Because I wanted to do this years ago, but it was finding a friend, somebody that had the ambition to actually do it. Right. And that would stick with it. Right. And hopefully, you hope one day, maybe we'll make some money off of this. Yep. Because I actually enjoy this. Who doesn't like just shooting the shit with a friend?
Exactly. I've liked that my entire life.
Exactly.
I've always become friends with the bosses, and we talk, we hang out, we get to learn how this works or whatever. And all of them said the same thing my entire life. All these guys who own their own companies, they're like, listen, you're making money for somebody else. Exactly. Day, And it's like, I am okay with making money for somebody else, but I'd like to make some money for myself too, somewhere in there. And if that ends up being, like we get to teach people stuff along the way from our mistakes, I'd love to save people some of the hassle that I've gone through in my life for no reason.
Yeah, and always, what was it, the saying, I just remember from The Office where Michael Scott took credit from it, but it was, I think, Wayne Gretzky that said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Hey, I love that saying. I love that saying.
Yep. It's true, and that's why with this, it's like, all right, let's just take a swing and see what happens with us. We get along. I think our banter is good. Yep. And I have a lot to learn from you, and I'm hopefully there's some you can learn from me.
You're showing me plenty as fans. I like that. We seem to be cut from the same cloth, but just different ends of the blanket.
It was same
I
work
really
ethic,
like that.
yes,
I really like
yes.
that. That's where I think we get along so good.
Yeah.
Because we are 10 years apart, but
Yeah.
as our work history was progressing between us, it's funny that we basically did this and thought the same things throughout that process.
I just
even school related,
I just took a longer time to realize.
If you think about how many years I really spent at school, I took 7 years to graduate college. 8 really, because I turned 25 afterwards. But that's I'm not proud of that, but I got a degree. So I got 2 degrees actually.
A lot more than other people. So yeah.
But I still was raised on the idea that a degree don't mean nothing. You're only as smart as the actions that you provide.
Yes, and it's a piece of paper, but it's. Sometimes it gets you a little further in life.
Yeah, it's a necessary piece of paper, depending. If I could have taken a different career path, I probably would have.
Definitely, though, recommendations as how society is going and people coming out of college, I recommend trades.
Yep.
Very much so.
Absolutely.
For anybody that's in high school, I recommend trades. There is going to be a lot of money in trades. There's a lot of people that don't want to do that stuff anymore. And we need people to do that stuff.
I am one of 3 friends that ended up going to get degrees. The rest of them are plumbers, electricians, union sprinkler fitters, concrete masons. Take your pick. Hopefully you guys will get to see a little bit of that as the episodes go on, and we can get you a little insight, maybe if it's something you're considering or thinking about. The trades is really... It's not like it was when our parents were young, where they said you're going to need a degree for everything. You need a bachelor's degree for everything. I think everybody realized that was a mistake, and you need somebody who can build a building. You need somebody who can wire the building. Steam fitters.
There's all
take your pick on the union.
Yeah.
I found out there's an installation union. I'm like, we have a union that installs insulation. What?
Apparently.
But, so today that we're recording is Saturday, February 14th. Yay. So it's Valentine's Day, Hallmark holiday, folks.
Everybody out there, don't forget about your wives or girlfriends. Just make sure you do something.
If you're seeing this now, your day's late.
Yeah.
You need to do something because she's mad at you because you forgot.
Well, you got a special dinner tonight at the Commodore?
I do. We are going to hit the Commodore tonight over by Pewaukee Lake. It's a Bartolota restaurant, which all the Bartolota restaurants that I've seen look for reviews on. There's one in Brookfield. There's one in Milwaukee. They have great reviews. So
they're good. They're expensive.
I saw the pictures. It was only like $150 per person for a 3-course meal. Let's get that out there or whatever. I'm sure there's going to be other extras while we're there, but.
Take my wife's out of birthday. My book, dude.
My wife's birthday. That was really what did it in. She changed her birthday. We're taking a trip now for her birthday instead. Okay. So because we're taking a family trip for her birthday, I canceled the reservations that were on her birthday and I'm doing a double. Okay. I want everybody to know my wife looked at me when I told her we were going out for a nice dinner, a very nice dinner for Valentine's Day. Her exact words were, "Why?" So we don't do stuff for Valentine's Day. We don't believe in the Hallmark holiday. What did you end up doing that was much more intelligent for a Hallmark holiday?
Well, my wife and I both don't. We think Valentine's Day is a Hallmark holiday, so we typically don't do anything. But, I was at Walmart one day and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go buy some little kid Valentines.
Yep.
So I found some Hot Wheels Valentines that you would give to, a 7-year-old to take to elementary school to pass out to all the kids, and I hit them around.
Yep.
She found them this morning. She found some in her lunchbox, and she loved it.
Take notes, gentlemen. What was the total investment, Justin?
I want to say it was under $5.
$5. You don't need a dozen red roses, okay, fellas? $36.99 at flowers.com. You don't need that.
Well, that's my wife. Yep. I don't know how everybody else's wives are.
I think if your wife gets in a tizzy over not spending a lot of money on Valentine's Day, she's not the woman for you.
I think it's the thought that counts out there.
Nonstop.
So the little $5 Valentines that I sent out, and you know what? I didn't use all of them, so hopefully she'll forget they were Hot Wheels and I can reuse them next year.
Hot Wheels. I like it. I like it. Hot Wheels.
But on that note, call it quits for this episode. Again, like, subscribe, please share. We're trying to get as many views as we can. But again, we appreciate all the people that have checked it out, and we will see you next Thursday.